what it's like to have gone through it, you know what I mean? Because, you know, we don't experience it the same way.
She and I talked about that. I think one time when I was at Hackerspace, I came in and she said, oh, I have to show you this video of this woman who's really obese. And I said, is she black? And then she just looked at me and laughed and she said, I told Lauren and Chris the same thing. We always ask, is she black? Or is he black? If there's something that's like negative, you ask like, it's not us, right? So, oh, okay. Then I want to see it. So but if it's me, I don't want to see it.
We only want to see positive images.
Exactly. I don't want to see the good stuff. Don't show me anything negative.
Going around.
Right.
What did you guys think about that? So it came up again when I guess Blink came out, the Malcolm Gladwell book. So they talked again about that study that they redid again now, even decades later, with the baby dolls. Yeah. I'm so this all came up for me recently because you guys were talking about the Hunger Games. I was so completely freaked out that people had a negative reaction to the fact that Rue was black.
In the book, the way she's described,
she's black, but that just showed me, and this is a YA novel, right? So that showed, because I have hope that the younger generations are better than my generation, right? Or much better than my mother's generation. But that these other people who were really big fans of the book wrote about it and tweeted about it, these comments like, well, I didn't feel as bad when I found out, when I saw that it was a black actress, I didn't feel as bad when they killed her.
Yeah, it was a lot of times like that.
I was like, how fucked up is that? And what hope is there? Like, I just went through this like 2 day, I posted it on Facebook, and it got like 30 comments, all these people talking about it. And I just thought, where do we go from, where do you go from there? You know, because it's a great character. It's a great story. It was totally obvious to me when I read it that she was black because they say she is. But people, like, in their minds, they recreated the image of her
to be like them.
A little blonde, curly-haired white girl or something. It was so disturbing. I was so freaked out by that, honestly.
Because what it comes down to is when you get to readers in books, when they're reading especially fiction, they want the characters that they feel for, the characters they can identify or feel something for, to be like them.
But the reverse of that is what's so ugly. I understand that. I understand looking for a character that you feel sympathetic to, that reminds you of yourself or someone you know. But then actively not caring that a character gets murdered because they're black, specifically because they're black. And all of this came up at the same time as all of the Trayon stuff came up. I was done for like 3 days. I was like, okay, I can't even...
I think that's why people say black people can't be racist. Because I can read lots of books, and I never read a book and then go, oh, I hate the character. Because I didn't feel anything for the character because the character was white. I didn't feel anything because of this person. Because I've read so many books where there's a white character in the story, and there's a white experience that's been presented to me. And then I read these things, and I do have empathy for the character. It doesn't matter who the character is. But if another group of people, and I'm not saying all, but if these group of people can get out on Twitter and Facebook and say these things, then that means that there's a huge gap. There's a big difference between saying I'm racist or I'm prejudiced. Those are two different things, because I can go through my life and see things and go, I can watch TV and go, when they airbrush this woman, it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me, because that's not me. So I can always say that's not me. So when these other girls watch these images of women that look like them who are being airbrushed and designed, they have a connection to that. Yeah. Our connection is that has been presented as a standard of beauty. Yeah. And what makes it worse is when you meet other black guys who tell you that is the standard of beauty. Get with it, you know, or, you know, what's your problem? So
I would disagree, not disagree, I would add to that I think that's something that all thinking women have to sort through.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's piled on top for women in the black community, but it's certainly not any easier for someone like me to see airbrushed whoever 2 sizes less and then have people tell me that that's what's beautiful.
But I think the difference is that if you saw it, you would have a stronger connection to it. Me, I just rejected it. Like, that's not me.
Because it's like a polar opposite.
Who's that? Yeah, it's not. Who's that girl? You know, oh, I'm looking at something else. I'm looking at my grandmother. Those are my representations. So I agree with you completely that it comes out differently because I don't have a real connection. I just look at it and go, wow, you know, or I don't even think anything like, oh well, you know, next. So, I mean, this was a huge topic when I was in college. I remember they had this thing and all of the girls and all the guys got together at the Black Student Union, and we had this long conversation because 2 of the people who were in charge, there was a white girl and her well, they're married now, but he's half black, half white. And he's never denied either part of himself. And he grew up in a place where I think he was safe and he was comfortable. And then his wife was also safe and comfortable and supportive. And she was sure of herself. And so when she would come into our circle, she would talk about these issues. But we always talked about how that's not me, because you know, we have different types of songs that's celebrating your butt, no matter how big it is, you know. I mean, you know, you have a different song or different topic, a different way of people saying or reaffirming, girl, you got some big legs. Look at that. You know, you got keep those legs, show those legs off versus someone saying, hide your legs because they're big, you know. So it's a different dialogue. So I completely agree with you on that.
I thought it was interesting recently, though. Did you see the photo somebody was posting around of Michelle with what she would look like if she...
The natural hair? Yeah. Oh, she looks so good.
Wasn't she gorgeous?
Yeah.
But I think that's that's another way to have the same conversation. So with the female white community, it's a lot about, you know, size and airbrushing and all this crap. But within the female black community, there's all this discussion about hairs and weave, and it's really something, you know, it's really something.
Or the assumption that every black woman who has hair has a weave.
And there's a lot of white women who get weaves and hair
just
and stuff all the time. Yeah,
I mean,
they
Jessica
advertise
Simpson
that
has a whole wig
morning.
line. You know, she's not making that for herself. I think she has 90 different wigs you can buy.
Wow.